Hi, folks, this is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Kamala, 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 Chameleon. Remember that song? Who was that? Uh, some boy. What was his name? Anyway, Kamala, Chameleon. Anyway, how you doing, Diane? Nice to see you. So, did you all get to listen to Mr. T's speech tonight? That's what I was doing. Hi, Sandy. Uh, did you all get a chance to hear his speech? Was there a big announcement? I don't know. See what you all think as people find their way in to the conversation. So it was Turning Point USA group, Christian group. Hi, Gary. Ha ha. Debbie, Wanda, Pappy Two Bears. Nice to see you all. So we'll see if there's any backlash for Mr. T's speech tonight. I'm going to bring up some points that he talked about, but there's one potential shocker in there, but we'll see what other people think. How you doing, Ronald? Nice to see you. Tennessee, nice to see you. So anyway, one thing he said was she's a bum. She was a bum before she got her big chance. And he said it twice. I've got on there Olympic disgrace. Olympic disgrace, Olympic-sized disgrace. Have you all seen any footage from the Paris Olympics? Unheard of. Unheard of blasphemy. A celebration of dysphoric, lawless hedonism crammed right in our faces. Being broadcast worldwide. People of all faiths are going to be insulted, shocked when they see those visages. That's why I got a little bristled up when I was talking about the kind of choices we have. I mean, these people can't flip and see that they're opening up our country to a unlawful invasion. 20 million is the number Trump put on it for people crossing. But worse than that, especially with Elon putting out about what happened with his air quotes son, now air quotes daughter. And I keep saying it and saying it. Trump is the only one that wants to put a stop to that garbage. So I really have a short shrift as far as patience goes for dealing with people who are still on the can't stand Trump bandwagon. Debbie, how you doing? Flannel Cheese, how you doing? Joshua. Yeah, Olympic Flamers. That's a good one. Olympic Flamers. So Trump met with Netanyahu today. So did Kamala. And she had a photo op set up where Obama called in to endorse her, and it was so hokey. You know, they're doing nuclear level gaslighting, blowtorch. That's what I should have put in my thumbnail. Blowtorch level gaslighting to make her seem something she's not. How many of these goldfish out here, people with the memories of a goldfish, the comprehension of an oyster are going to fall for it. Just like Mr. T said, she's a bum. She was a bum. Hi, Mike. How you doing, Sherry? How you doing? So she's walking along doing a power walk, with advisors and people following her along like she's such an important person. And oh, the impromptu call comes in. Yes, Mr. President. Yes, I want to give you my full support, and I think you will be wonderful. Blah blah blah. Had a microphone on her collar. Impromptu in a pig's eye, all part of the nuclear gaslighting. But we're busting them open with their lies, and her past garbage is coming back to haunt her. Yeah, the left hand over the top. I saw that. People are talking about that. That's a protective gesture. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning? Gary says, iconic photo of BB and Mr. T with his left hand over the top. What does that symbolize? It's getting a lot of talk. Not a typical pose for Mr. T. But I may bring up something that I think is going to be a BOMB that Mr. T dropped during his speech. I listened to it twice. Okay, so the word is upper hand. Gary says upper hand. Joshua says made the deal. It meant something. These images mean things. Just like Kamala's prancing around and talking on the phone meant something. I saw somebody put up a tweet from Proud Army Brat on Utizzle that said Governor Abbott just dropped off several hundred illegal aliens in front of Kamala's home. Keep them coming. I don't know if this is an old tweet or not. Did Abbott send her some more? Is Abbott poking at the, I don't even want to call them a bear, poking at the hyena? Sending more, or is that an old? I don't know. Yeah, she was at Wanda. She was on RuPaul's Drag Show. Hi, Tracy. Nice to see you. Ha ha ha. A lot of people are claiming they like her. The news polls, the news services is putting out these polls saying how great she is. But to touch on something that Debbie said, she knows everything. Wow. You know everything? I know about half, and that's enough to scare me. Hi, Raven's Wings. How you doing? Yeah, there's a 3,000 strong caravan coming. That's one of many, I'm sure. But they know if Trump gets in, it's going to be, hey, they have really got to project their winning, because they know if Trump comes in, they got to turn around and leave. So if their confidence level is down in the Biden-Harris chances, now just Harris, but you know what I mean, then they're not going to want to take that trip if they got to turn around and go back home. So if anything, Trump's stronger showing in the polls is dissuading a lot of illegal immigrants. But at least we know who got Biden hair shirts. You know, we saw them wearing them when they came across the border. Ravens, yeah, hit the like button and make sure you still subscribe. I keep forgetting to say that. Thank you for reminding me. But back to, we'll get back to all this stuff. I want to know how many people, since we got a lot more in the chats now, watched his speech tonight. It was about an hour and a half long, as opposed to Joe Biden's 11 minutes. Same thing, Diane says, upper hand play for dominance. Oh, Wanda got a notice. So how many people saw his speech tonight? Because you're going to be hearing something out of it. And I'm processing it before I run my mouth. I want to see if another person or two may have heard what I heard in the speech. So, and it may have something to do with that handshake. Made my jaw drop. But I'll stay with Donald Trump, period. I'll repeat that, period. I'm staying with Trump. But you know, the Chris Wray, Donald Trump, so-called rivalry or argument is bearing fruit. And I discussed how I thought Chris Wray could very well be in as of the same ilk, ILK, of Jeff Sessions and Bill Barr and Mike Pence. Yeah, I'm the bad guy playing a role, acting like they're the bad guys. Somebody must have been zeroing in. Hi, Sue, how are you? Boy George from Culture Club. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I said that at the beginning of the stream. I'm at the 12-minute mark right now. I just want to make sure you've kept up with your current with the conversation. Welcome aboard, Sue. Nice to meet you. Doc, how you doing? So, where is that? Somebody must have been giving Chris Wray the side eye as far as black hats. Because remember, the history of Wray is that Trump appointed him. He left a big paying job to be director of the FBI, which, according to the storyline, Robert Mueller coveted that position. And was kept on. I don't think they can get rid of him. And I think the current administration is leery of him. So what you have is a little battle, a fight, just like what happened with Jeff Sessions. Resign, Jeff Sessions. Bill Barr, resign. You fat blob or whatever he called him, and Mike Pence, you gutless, you no Thomas Jefferson, Mike Pence, you. But then Chris Miller thanks Pence for helping with the biggest military operation in world history. Okay, certainly U.S. history. So, what does Chris Wray do to get the spotlight off him in case the black hats say, wait a minute, this guy might be a plant. Remember that? PLANT. Patriots in trusted positions. How do you get them to, you say something that you know is going to piss or make, make Trump supporters angry. You act dumb about Biden's debilitation, which is obvious to school children. And you also give a squirrely comment about what happened to Trump's ear, right? Hi, Wayne, how you doing? Ha ha ha, Gary's shy, spectacular. Wait a minute. I got a notification. Gary is spectacular. Went by buy me a coffee. And someone went by earlier today twice and said I was doing a good job. Keep up the good work. And Gary just went by today. Thank you for sponsoring tonight's program, Gary. Many times you go by, buy me a coffee, and I do appreciate it. Tuco. So anyway, Trump came out today, and let me tell you why they decided to get in this fight. Trump posted Tucker Carlson quote, "Chris Wray is a liar and a criminal, and I hope he's reading this." Donald Trump posted that. Donald Trump posted a letter from Lindsey Graham, demands FBI Chris Wray recant testimony, say it's clear Trump was hit with a bullet. Well, what are the reasons for this? Well, to increase cover for Wray so he can continue on his position with as little harassment as possible, prevent the Democrats from trying to pull any impeachment, lower the heat on Chris Wray is one of the reasons. Another reason, you have Larry Kudlow, Dr. Ronnie Jackson, is that his name? Trump's physician, Obama's physician, coming out, and they're all saying the same thing. That it's a ridiculous conspiracy theory about shrapnel or glass, and that there's sick people pushing that. And they open the conversation up by bashing Chris Wray, but it gives them the opportunity to drop in there Joy Reid's name, okay, and a bunch of these other mainstream propagandists. And in the guise of attacking Wray, they are full-throatedly bashing as crazy conspiracy theorists The View, Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid, and all that stuff. Meanwhile, Wray is saying, well, Donald Trump's after me. You guys better protect me. And I still say the day might come when people like Christopher Wray pop up and say, wait a minute. Let me set the record straight. I demanded this. I demanded that. I appointed one of my staff to thoroughly research things. And I had been given bad information. I was given information that made me look bad. I was given information that was false. It may just be a path to declassification of a great many things. So, since I'm a really small channel and I don't think my discussions are blowing any plans or messing things up, because nobody listens to me except my good and wonderful friends who are out there right now, that it's a staged argument. And it's putting back in the spotlight the attempt on Mr. T's life. Historic attempt. What did they try to replace it with in the news cycle? Something we've been talking about for 2 years. It doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden, who we know he's not going to make it. I put up video after video about when's he stepping down. I put a picture of him on a helicopter like Richard Nixon giving the peace signs. both arms in the air like Nixon did when he resigned. Joe Biden. So they're acting like Joe Biden backing out of the race and Kamala Harris grabbing the ball is some spectacular, historic, noble event in American history. No, it's not. It's something we all knew was coming. The attempt on Trump was the real historic act and the real eye-opener, the real awakening moment. So now we're getting back to that. Who cares about Diaper Joe, okay, or Kamala Chameleon? There's Gary some booms, boom, boom, boom. Ha ha ha. Walk softly and carry a big stick. Yeah. But I got to let my 2 cents come in. But again, I want to see if anybody watched his speech tonight. A very, 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 very important speech. Hi, Quilt. Thank you. Great show. And I'm going to add another very to that. How many times do you know that Mr. T has misspoken? Very, very few times he's come back and made a correction about something he said. Hi, Larry. Hi, Diane. Yeah, Gay Perry. Yeah. Yeah, they're really showing themselves to be a Gay Perry. Glendale, Arizona, Fraternal Order of Police. Donald Trump posted this. Never forget who was throwing law enforcement under the bus during those dark days. Kamala Harris praised defund the police movement and showing the Summer of Love crowd. That's all going to keep getting pounded out there. And the lie about the czar. Kicking Bird, how you doing? Been wondering where you at. Ha ha ha. Got to hear my ringtone. Kicking Bird, ha ha ha. That make good ringtone. President Trump gave a keynote address at Turning Point USA Faith Believer Summit in West Palm Beach. That's what happened. And all the people in the comments I saw, only like 3 people out of hundreds hear what I heard. And I'm not seeing anybody watch the speech tonight. Well, I'll give you a little bit of it. Trump said, I don't know why anybody Jewish would vote for Democrats. They can't stand Jewish people the way they're acting. He called Joe a Palestinian during the debate. During the debate, he's publicly putting out there that Biden's too incompetent to be president. About the William Hur tapes, that's what Kash Patel put out. They threatened him with those. They threatened him with the 25th Amendment. They threatened him with releasing the Hur tapes to let the world hear him babble, hear him probably lose his bowels or excuse himself for a change. All right. You got called away for a bit. That's okay. I always said that Trump sprinkles something in there. In all the prepared stuff we've heard over and over and over, Every now and then he'll drop boom. And he brought up about Catholics. He said, why are they picking on Catholics so much? He said, in the same vein as with the Jewish situation, they're after Catholics, Jewish people, Catholic people. And then he said, Christians, they're after Christians all the time. And Christians need to go out and vote. Jet lag, how you doing? So we'll see if I heard something wrong or not. If we get people in the conversation. Harry Entman is the pollster on CNN, and I can't believe they let him up, but I believe they have to let him up. I believe they're being told, just like Mr. T is alluding to, that the SCOTUS is going to start making the news put out the truth. Starting with the George Slopanopoulos case. Hi, Lone Wolf. Did you watch his speech, Lone Wolf? Jet lag, did you watch his speech tonight at Turning Point USA? I don't want to be an oddball and say something out of line. But anyway, Harry Anton said, this is the pollster. He said, I think the idea of Harris momentum is a bit overstated. Yes, Harris is doing significantly better than Biden was, but Harris is actually not doing all that much better than she was herself against Trump previously when she was a hypothetical candidate. In other words, she's still losing in the polls. And then you have Kamala's stepdaughter coming out, making a spectacle of herself, putting herself out to the public. Unlike Barron and Melania, who are trying to live a peaceful life, this person has chosen to put their selves, I don't know what the right way. There's some short videos I didn't watch, but I see a picture of her. She's got, it looks like a Harpo Marx wig and hat on. She's skinny. And she says, I'm different than all the skinny white girls. And that's Kamala's stepdaughter. Also got a picture of Donald Trump carrying the Olympic torch in the 2004 Olympics. He's dressed in all white with a white ball cap. Jet lag, did you notice anything about what he said during the speech? Or people in the chats would saying anything about what Mr. T said? Because I don't want to get in trouble. Paris Olympics is a woke circus. They did a reenactment. I was going to put this in my thumbnail, but it's too horrific. A gay reenactment of the Last Supper. Oh, Mr. T does say a lot more than people realize. And we'll see the impact. Kamala Harris explains to voters why she's a proud communist. It's all about equity and equality. So that's going to be played over and over, where she says everybody should end up with the same amount of equity. Greasy Joe up the street sitting on his rear end all day. How come he doesn't have a car and you have 3 or 2? Give him one of your cars. Do you notice on my thumbnail a picture of Kamala cackling, Kamala chameleon? She's laughing away. And it says on the thumbnail they can come into your house. That's another thing that Mr. T sprinkled out there when he was talking about no tax on tips. He said he was having a conversation with a waitress. And she said, oh, they make it so miserable and horrible. And he said, what, these 84 or 88,000 new agents, they can carry guns? They can come into your house? People don't look at it that way. It's the way they need to look at it. You got a bunch of skinny jean, purple-haired, nose ring wearing Fruit Loops that got a chip on their shoulder with a communist background and a Marxist leanings that have the power to enter your home armed. Look what happened to the old man in Utah they drug out on the sidewalk and went through his stuff. Left his blind son with no one to help. And I'm looking through the chats. No one heard what I heard. Oh my goodness. The Washington Post had on March 15th, 2024, this year, by Kathleen Parker. This is the kind of stuff that's getting reprinted. The Washington Post. What do you think the Washington Post said? The Washington Post said, opinion piece. For the country's sake, Vice President Harris should step down. I might save that for a picture show. And then on April 26, 2024, this year, earlier this year, all the people praising Kamala Chameleon, a CNN roundtable discussed how Kamala Harris may actually be dragging Biden down in his bid for re-election. They discussed the fact that people don't like her, including swing voters, and that her voice is annoying. Annoying. Got a picture of Chris Wallace there. I could get a clip of that, but I have so many clips I haven't got a chance to play. I said, yeah, Joe Biden. I was going to put in my thumbnail, Basketball Joe. Remember that song? Basketball Jones, Basketball Jones. That was, oh my God, how many years ago was that? 30 years ago? Between 30 and 40. Basketball Jones, Basketball Jones. Well, it's Basketball Joe now. Now, I saw a clip where Alex Jones said he was 8 inches taller than his usual. So he's 6 foot tall. In the pictures they showed of him, that guy was definitely well over 6 feet. Well over, maybe not 6'8". That's James Comey height. But he was probably 6'5", 6'6". He was tall. So is all these shenanigans that are so obvious to us making people's eyebrows go up? They found social media by the perpetrator, by the way. Did you all hear that? I got some screen grabs of his comments. And the person that put these social media posts up said they were not going to release anymore, but we're going to archive them, and we're waiting for a subpoena from the F and then B and then I. Yeah, here they are. He's a liberal. Big, big, big time. He was discussing how the vote counts and trying to rationalize the 81 million. Talking about how great Biden was. Another lie. The first thing they said about him was he was a Republican. Reminded me of the Wallace assassination. George Wallace. That very day or the very next day, they said it was a K and then K and the other letter is K member. And it made no sense because Wallace was a segregationist. Many of you are of the maturity to remember those times. Some of you may not be, but it was the same thing. They pinned it on somebody that was supposed to be like Wallace. So this social media posts are going to be very interesting. So when I get ready to wrap up the stream, which is going to be not anytime soon, I'm going to give you all a chance to go back to the speech and give you a rough time marker to see if you heard what I heard. I'll be saying that in about 20 to 30 minutes. Because if I say it now, everybody's going to dip out to go hear what I listened to twice. All right? So stick with me. Or if you have to leave, come back and check me out at towards the end of the stream. So this person was responding to a post by Cat Turd. This person who had no social media. Cat Turd said, didn't you also think Biden would lose in a landslide? Yeah, I would not be very confident in your election predictions. And this person replied, first of all, Biden's executive orders don't incentivize trafficking, as human and then traffickers aren't interested in citizenships. Likewise, the majority of illegal immigrants are not criminals. And in fact, some studies, such as the one linked below, lower rates of crime committed by these individuals. It is also unclear if the extensive path towards citizenship is in fact effective enough at routing out bad actors. So in other words, he was actually printing links to articles from these obscure, like Occupy Democrats and all this stuff, talking about how wonderful the people coming across the border unlawfully are. This Republican. So why haven't they subpoenaed it? Why is this, who is the guy that's got these, that discovered his social media? If you go on X, his name is Andrew Torba. Andrew Torba. We are disclosing this information at significant personal and business risk. If the past is any guide, defying the DC consensus by publishing the first definitive evidence that the shooter was a Biden supporter, something the Democrats and their media allies have tried to cover up and deny at every turn, has a high probability of resulting in significant political and media backlash. Okay? That's a nice way of saying he feels threatened. Then he goes on to say, in the past, we have been the target of politically motivated inquiries from both the House Oversight Committee and the Joint Committee on the Sixth Committee attacks, both of which have sought to interfere with our mission protecting free speech online. The enemies of freedom have the ability to impose significant present and future legal costs, and any donations we receive will help to defray those costs. So they're putting out the social media of this assailant, which The three-letter agencies denied existed, and they're also showing that their narrative of him being Republican is just nothing other than a damn lie. Hi, Jason. Hi, Melissa. And I said in the past, the people that don't like me using wordy words, that I'm not going to call them big lies. I'm not going to call them fake news. I'm going to call them what they are. They're damn lies. And people that repeat them knowingly, they're damn liars. Now, people that don't know and are just repeating it, they're acting ignorant. I don't call them ignorant. I say they're acting ignorant. And if they come here to this channel and engage in a conversation with me, maybe we can help turn that ship around. So they don't feel that the world is gone mad. And they don't feel that somebody running for president who wants to have law and order, who wants to respect the Constitution, don't be afraid of a person like that. You gravitate to a person like that. You encourage a person like that. You don't live in fear thinking, oh, he's going to ruin democracy. They're the ones that put him in jail. They're the ones that, well, they took his mugshot at the jailhouse. They're the ones who had him sit in a courtroom. They're the ones behind what happened on the 13th. I saw some egghead on a talk show. Well, we have to look at what psychological profile of a person who resorts to this kind of violence. Well, how about all the crap they've been putting out in the media using the Adolf name and Chicken Little talk of the destruction of democracy? The media that's supporting a person who got in office through chicanery and coordinated theft. And they're supporting a replacement that nobody voted for. A prediction came up. A prediction came up on Greg Gutfeld's show that I found to be very interesting. If you get a chance to watch on YouTube, Greg Gutfeld, when he had his guests up there talking about Creepy Joe, that was about 15-minute, 16-minute clip. One of the guests, who's not on very often, the first time I ever saw him, he said that the states have their own rules about campaign money and who can be on the ballot. A lot of the states are past their time to change names on the ballot. Per law, statute, it's too late to change the name. I think he specifically said Nevada. But he said almost every state has provisions that a sitting president must be on the ballot. That's running for re-election must be on the ballot. In other words, they can't use deadlines or games or anything like that to keep a sitting president off a ballot. So he said, in order for her to be on all 50 ballots legally, they got to get rid of Joe and make her the sitting president before the election. He said, mark that down. Mark that down. I said that. So Joe's still got to go. So I found that to be an interesting prediction. Trump's still going after Chris Wray, and I'm sure you all have read it. And Lindsey Graham, I was debating whether I should read the whole statement, but I'm just going to say that is a That is a staged fight, a staged fight. And Lindsey Graham's participating in. And there's multiple layers of reasons why they would get into it with Chris Wray. Hi, Hebrew Hammer. How you doing? Hebrew Hammer, did you watch Mr. T's speech? And what did you think of the handshake with the left hand over top of the other hand? Because here in about 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you what I think of it and send you all off on a mission. Oh, my goodness. Got to adjust my back here. Had a little something happen, and I got to keep myself sitting in a certain position. The Shin Bet have given Trump the math. Ah, interesting. You listened to the speech. Okay, what did you hear? Did you hear what I heard? Did you hear what I heard? Hi, Melissa. No, it's not artificial intelligence. It's the Church of Satan. Huh. That's what I think. If you watch the Paris Olympics, you'll agree with me. Satan has arrived, and they're celebrating in Gay Paris. Lone Wolf says that handshake says it represented I have power over you. All right. Well, I am processing it, and I'm just giving everybody a fair chance before I say what I have to say. And I want to get through some of these headlines. Yeah, Kamala with her defund the police radio interview. Not going to get around that. Oh, Trump also announced he's going back to Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard that? Have you heard that before I drop the BOMB on everybody and see what they think? Trump says, I will be going back to Butler, Pennsylvania for a big and beautiful rally honoring the soul of our beloved firefighting hero, Corey, and those brave patriots injured 2 weeks ago. What a day it will be. Fight, fight, fight. Stay tuned for details. Will it be an outdoor rally? I think it will be. Trump said, I assume that's the best apology we'll get from Director Wray, but it is fully accepted. And what he's referring to is a statement from Brett Baer on Twitter. FBI statement out this hour, attributable to the agency and not a specific person. Quote, what struck former President Trump in the ear was a bullet, whether whole or fragmented into smaller pieces, fired from the deceased subject's rifle. Unquote. Official position of the three-letter agency that starts with an F and ends with an I and has a B in the middle. Melissa said that will probably be the biggest rally ever. What would you say? I'm not scared. But I want to ask you all. Let me see how I can phrase this. Donald Trump, before I ask a question, has shown me that he put his life on the line for our country, for us. He's of advanced age with billions of dollars. And this is the path he's chosen. A dangerous path. He stood up for the right to life. Even though some people don't agree with the final outcome this round, this is the first round, he did more than any president has been able to do in half a century to protect life. He's professed faith in God over and over again. He's given credit to God for his survival on the 13th. He's an imperfect man, but he's striving for a more perfect union. I hope you all agree with me on that. If Donald Trump disagreed with you on something, if he still promoted a godly path for this country, but disagreed with you on something, would you abandon him? I block people. The very few times I block people, when people said things like, people are getting tired of listening to Trump's blah, but we want something to happen, and I just blocked them. The armchair morons that demand something happen right now and criticize Trump. Would you turn your back on Trump if he disagreed with you? Let's say you're a Lutheran. Then he said, I'm not a Lutheran. Would you say, well, I'm not voting for anybody unless they're Lutheran? Just seeing, what would Trump have to do for you to turn your back on him? And if you did, let's be real serious with this question. If you said to yourself, I can't vote for somebody like that, who would you vote for this time around? What would you do? Would you not vote and let the country finish its journey to hell? Would you vote for Kamala or Kamala? Chameleon. Okay. Oh, really, Gary? Your grandfather worked on Mount Rushmore. That's interesting. That's neat. That's Teddy Roosevelt up there too, isn't it? Is it? Yes, Teddy Roosevelt, Jefferson, Lincoln. Jason said, I didn't agree with many of the things he did as president, especially during the scam, and then I guess the rest of that is demic. But overall, see, he's a better candidate. We're talking about, yeah, that's true, Jason. But I mean, people that have a passionate belief in things may take this the wrong way. Hebrew Hammer said to unify the 13 tribes. Oh, well, all right. I'll tell you this, folks, because I'm coming up on my hour. And we have an interesting group. I lost about 20 people. Hope they go around having a good time listening to Scott Adams, or not Scott Adams, Phil Godlewski and that other Scott McKay and all those Charlie Ward. But I heard Trump say, I'm not a Christian. Nobody heard that? I listened to it twice. That's why I was asking, how many times have you ever heard of Trump misspeak and have to come back and correct something he said? Gary says you turn your back on Trump only with hate in your heart. I agree. I had another bunch drop off. Debbie, you heard him say it too? Well, I've been asking for an hour if anybody heard it. Well, if Trump is not a Christian, then what do you think he is? A Buddhist? Oh, he must be an Islamist. Melissa said Trump said he is a Christian. Well, let's just say he decided to switch religions, theoretically. Theoretically. What do you think he'd switch to? Was the chest bump and the hand, the hand over top, the left hand over top of the other hand, did that mean I'm with you? I'm with you? I'm talking theoretically. And if you convert to Judaism, don't you have to publicly declare it? And would it matter to you in this struggle, this epic struggle of the dark powers of Satanism washing over the face of this earth? If you don't believe me, just go back and watch the videos in Paris. And that he said what I think he said today after he met with Netanyahu, after he put his hand over top of Netanyahu's hand, after he did the chest bump. I think he said, I'm not a Christian. Even if he said that, I'm with him 1,000%. Remember what I was saying, how a lot of these counter psyop bunches that come through talking about Jewish lasers, blaming things on the Jewish people. Now we have this huge movement going across the country from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free, which means wipe out Jewish people from the river to the sea. But it's okay, right? It's okay. People are dropping off right and left. So let them drop off. And I wish I knew who they were, so I'd make sure they never came back or couldn't ever get in the chats. That's right, Melissa. Go back. It's around the 914, 913, maybe 912. Somewhere, if you start it somewhere in that range, you'll hear him say Christians need to get out and vote. If you don't ever vote again, vote now. Because if we win this, everything will be fixed. And you won't have to vote if you don't want to after this. In other words, he's talking about big, big changes. Satan's influence being wiped out. But if you don't believe me, that he said, I'm not a Christian, but I want Christians to vote. And if you really want to check it out, pay attention to the applause. Because this was a predominantly Christian group. It was organized by, what's his name? The little Jewish guy that works with Turning Point USA, Ben Shapiro. So what I'm saying is if, in fact, Mr. T, like his son-in-law, like his daughter Ivanka, converted to Judaism, would you turn your back on Mr. T after all we've been through? And if I'm wrong, if I misheard it, would you turn your back on me in anger, like the 20-some people that dropped off when I started talking about this? Let me tell you something. People get stuff in their head and they don't want their brain to move. They don't use their reason. They don't use a spiritual intellectualism. They just go down a hard path with blinders on. That's right. Thank you. Raven's Wings, Lone Wolf, Melissa. Yeah, they have lock boxes at churches. He's the one that reversed Johnson's executive order. Johnson had a preacher down south that was tearing him apart. So Lyndon B. Johnson started that business where pastors could not talk about religion or they would lose their protections under 501c3s. Trump got rid of it and opened the pulpit up because morality and politics go hand in hand, whether people like it or not. And they have shut up preachers for almost over half a century. So, after you hear what I heard, notice the muted applause. The crowd was absorbing what he said. Prior to him saying that, they clapped every time. Every time he said something good. Hey, yay! After he said that, please get out and vote. We need Christians to vote. I'm not a Christian, but Christians need to go out and vote. Then when he started saying, we will make America powerful again, we will make America strong again, the clapping was much more muted. Until he got, of course, to the final one, we will make America great again. They started the music up. There was increased clapping, but you could tell that the audience was stunned. So that's the big drop. How is the mainstream media, are they going to be mute over it? Are they going to try to use it against Trump? Will Trump come out and correct what he said on a rare occasion? Right Side Broadcasting Network, when you see the timestamp in the corner of the video, it was around somewhere around 9:14, 9:12, 13, 14, somewhere in there, and then listen to it till its conclusion and listen to the. And I tell you what, if he converted to Judaism, I'm with him 1,000%. If he said I misspoke, I'm a Christian, because he's praised Jesus Christ, I'm with him 1,000%. So anyway, folks, that's a little homework assignment to go to Right Side Broadcasting. And if you didn't watch the speech, watch it. But it never hurts to watch Trump's speech. He said other things that were, he called Kamala a bum. She's a bum. In this business of the Department of Justice, he brought up about the prisoners in the gulags, right? When are they going to get out? How come the people that were burning flag, they can burn their own flags. If they go buy a flag and drag it out and burn, that's their damn business. You will make idiots of themselves. But if you remove a flag from a government flagpole and burn government property, destruction of property and arson, you should go to jail. Am I right or wrong? So apparently the DOJ is ignoring the SCOTUS ruling on protesting versus obstruction of justice. By all rights, and because of that ruling, there should be hundreds and hundreds of people being let out who were wrongfully convicted. But it's so close to the election, it would make them look bad. You know how many people would be telling their stories? And I said a long time ago, I wish I was 20 years younger, 30 years younger. I'd be getting into the law profession, and I'd be looking up 11.3 laws of the United States. 11.3, not the Department of Defense laws of war. 11.3. That's got to do with Geneva Conventions. Laws of the United States. 11.3. Tort law, libel, slander, deprivation of rights. There's going to be billions of dollars in payouts. All going on the Alex Jones blueprint and what they did to Trump and that, what's her face? E. Jean Carroll. So anyway, I'm just saying that handshake covering the hand could have been I'm with you or we are together. Maybe he converted to Judaism. How's the media going to handle it? People are going to ignore it or what? I didn't ignore it. I brought it up. Hi, Chris. It's a big statement. It could be a way to get to fake news talking, but it is a big, big statement to say, I am not a Christian. So you all can be the judge of it, folks. And I appreciate Gary for helping sponsor tonight's program, and somebody who went a couple of times to buy me a coffee this morning. I appreciate that. It's nice to have that little bit of surprise. Everybody that helped me this month was Tennessee. Helped this month. Finding Dory. I haven't seen her. Mike and Bev help out. Miss Mendersu, Lone Wolf. This is for the month of July, right? Hilarious too. Angela, Norm, and of course Gary. And I believe it's Roland. Got the thumbnail of Tomcat. So it just says ROL. I'm assuming Roland. So anyway, that's through the entire month so far. I appreciate your all's help. Again, folks, I'm just an old guy with a cell phone telling you what I think and what I heard. And I've gotten stuff wrong in the past. I try to make a point and correct it. But I listened to this twice. And we are in a spiritual battle. Okay? We are in a spiritual battle, and many of us are walking a path trying to find a way to live in a way that pleases God. And as long as we continue down that path in good faith and exercise our judgment and continue to try to live in a way that pleases God, we may not agree on everything. Thank you, Ravens. I appreciate that. So we'll talk again, unless something really big happens. We'll talk again on probably Sunday. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live and you can join in. If you haven't given me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, please make sure you do one or the other on the way out. And if you're listening after the broadcast, tell me what you think of the many things we talked about tonight. One in particular, would you turn your back on Donald Trump if he said, I'm a Buddhist? Would you turn your back on him if he said, hey, I'm Jewish? Or I'm a Whiskey-palian? I spoke wrong. I am a Christian. I'm a Whiskey-palian. He's given so much. And he's still marching on. And we're going to get ready to see that Butler, Pennsylvania rally. All right, folks. I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. Listen to me bibble babble on. I hope you all have a great night, and I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.